I was sitting in a bathroom stall at a high-end steakhouse in downtown Chicago, just trying to get a moment of silence. My business partner and best friend of 12 years was out at the table, holding court with a group of venture capital investors. I had a migraine, the kind that throbs behind your eyes, so I'd stepped away to splash some cold water on my face. That is when I heard it. The heavy oak door opened. Two guys walked in. I recognized the voices immediately. It was Leo, my partner, and Marcus, the lead investor who was about to acquire our tech startup for a life-changing amount of money. Leo was laughing, that distinctive, booming laugh that used to make me feel safe. Now it sounded like a chainsaw. He said, "Don't worry about Sam. Honestly, he is dead weight at this point. Once the acquisition papers are signed on Friday, he is out. I've already got a new CTO lined up from Silicon Valley. Sam is great with the legacy code, but let's be real, he doesn't have the vision for where we're going. He's just the help." I sat there, frozen on the toilet seat. My breath hitched in my throat. Marcus chuckled, the sound of a man who only cares about the bottom line. "Does he know? He owns 40% of the equity, right? That's a big payout to cut loose." Leo lowered his voice, but in the tiled echo of the bathroom, I heard every syllable. That is the best part. The operating agreement we signed 5 years ago, it has a buyout clause triggered by a change of control. I can force a buyout at the initial valuation, not the acquisition price, if I fire him for cause within 48 hours of the deal closing. I'll frame it as incompetence. He'll walk away with maybe 50 grand, and I take the rest, $10 million. I didn't move, I didn't breathe. I waited until they washed their hands, fixed their silk ties, and left. I sat there for another 10 minutes. The cold, hard reality washed over me. 12 years. We ate ramen together in a basement while I wrote the code and he made cold calls. I was the godfather to his daughter. I built the product from scratch while he took the credit, and he was planning to steal my life's work and leave me with pennies. I walked back to the table, sat down, and smiled at Leo. "Feeling better?" he asked, pouring me a glass of expensive Cabernet. We were just toasting to loyalty. "To loyalty," I said, raising my glass. I watched him drink. I didn't take a sip. Let me give you some context. I am the technical brain behind Streamline, a logistics software platform that revolutionized shipping. Leo is the face. He's charismatic, tall, the kind of guy who can sell ice to a polar bear. I'm the guy in the hoodie who actually makes the thing work. We had an offer on the table from a major firm, $25 million. My share should have been $10 million. Leo's plan was to use a loophole in our old, outdated contract, one we wrote on a napkin when we were 22, to screw me out of 99% of it. That night, I went home and didn't sleep. I just stared at the ceiling. I felt sick, betrayed. I kept thinking about the time I loaned him rent money so he wouldn't get evicted, the time I stayed up for 3 days straight to fix a bug so he wouldn't look bad in a meeting. By morning, the sadness was gone. It was replaced by something else. Rage. Cold, calculated, nuclear rage. The deal was scheduled to close on Friday at noon. It was currently Tuesday. I had 3 days to save my future. I called my sister, Sarah, who happens to be a ruthless contract lawyer in New York. I told her everything. She asked for the documents. I sent them over. She called me back an hour later. "Okay, Sam, he's right. The clause is vague but enforceable in this state. If he triggers the change of control and fires you, he can technically buy back your shares at the original value. It's dirty, it's evil, but it's legal." "So I'm screwed?" I asked, my voice shaking. "Not necessarily," she said. Her voice dropped to a conspiratorial whisper. "Who owns the IP, the actual code?" "The company, obviously," I said, Streamline Inc. "Are you sure?" she asked. "Check the patent filings. Check the original assignment of invention agreements. Did you actually sign them 5 years ago?" I dug through my rusty filing cabinet. I found the original incorporation papers, I found the IP assignment forms, and there it was. The signature line on the assignment of intellectual property form was blank. I remembered that day vividly. We were rushing to meet our very first client. Leo had honked the horn outside, screaming that we were going to be late. I had thrown the papers in a drawer, intending to sign them later, and we both forgot. Technically, Streamline Inc. didn't own the code. I did. The company just had an implied license to use it, a license I could revoke at any time. I smiled for the first time in 24 hours. It wasn't a nice smile. Wednesday and Thursday were absolute torture. I had to go into the office, sit across from Leo, and act like everything was normal. He was in high spirits, practically floating. He kept clapping me on the back, talking about our shared success. "We're gonna buy matching Porsches, buddy," he said, spinning around in his chair. "Maybe a boat. You like boats?" "I love boats," I lied, "especially ones that don't sink." I spent those 2 days quietly backing up every line of code, every database, every server configuration to a private encrypted drive. Then I wrote a script, a simple little program, a dead man switch, scheduled to run at 12:05 p.m. on Friday. It wasn't a virus, it didn't destroy data, that would be illegal, it simply turned off the access keys. Without those keys, the software would stop working, the platform would freeze. The API calls would fail, and since I was the only one with the encryption passwords, no one, not even the new visionary CTO from Silicon Valley, could turn it back on. Friday morning arrived. The sky was gray. It felt fitting. We met at the lawyer's office downtown. The conference room was all glass and mahogany, overlooking the city we had conquered together. The buyers were there, looking slick and eager. Leo was vibrating with excitement, his pen already in his hand. "All right, gentlemen," Marcus said, rubbing his hands together. "Let's make some history." Leo grabbed a pen. He signed his name with a flourish. He looked at me, his eyes gleaming with that predatory excitement I'd mistaken for ambition all these years. "Your turn, partner. Sign on the dotted line and we're rich." I picked up the pen. I looked at the clock on the wall. 11:59 a.m. "Actually," I said, putting the pen down slowly, "I have a question about the intellectual property clause." The room went quiet. The air conditioning hummed. Leo's smile faltered slightly. "Sam, we went over this. It's standard boilerplate. Just sign it." "I know," I said, leaning back in the expensive leather chair. "But this contract states that Streamline Inc. owns all proprietary technology, code, and algorithms, and that the sellers, us, warrant that we have full ownership." "Yes," Marcus said, looking annoyed. "So what?" "Well," I pulled a manila folder out of my bag. "That's not technically true." I slid the unsigned assignment form across the polished table. Leo picked it up. I watched his eyes scan the page. I watched his face go pale, then gray. He looked up at me, and for the first time, the mask slipped. I saw fear. "What is this?" he whispered. "That's the document I never signed, the one that transfers the code I wrote to the company. Since I never signed it, I still own the code, personally." I turned to the buyers. "So if you buy this company today, you're buying a shell. You're buying the brand name, the office furniture, and Leo's ego. But the product, the engine, that belongs to me. And the price just went up." The room erupted. The buyers turned on Leo. "Is this true? Does he own the platform? You told us you had full IP control." Leo was stammering, sweat beading on his forehead. He looked like he was going to swing at me. You can't do this. We're partners. We're best friends. I'm the godfather to your cat." I looked him dead in the eye. "I heard you in the bathroom, Leo. I heard you tell Marcus about the buyout clause. I heard you call me the help. I heard you planning to steal my $10 million. The color drained from his face. He looked like a ghost. He slumped back into his chair. "I didn't," he tried to say, his voice cracking. "I was just talking big, strictly business." "You were going to ruin me," I said, "so I beat you to it." I turned to the buyers. "My offer stands. I own the tech. I'm ready to build something new, without him." The deal fell apart instantly. The buyers walked away from the acquisition. Obviously, they actually sued Leo for fraud, for misrepresenting the company's assets. Leo tried to sue me,
claiming sabotage, but he didn't have a leg to stand on. Without the IP, the company was worthless. He went bankrupt trying to fight the legal battles. He lost his house. He lost his reputation. As for me, I started a new company with the buyers. They were impressed by the leverage I had demonstrated. We rebuilt the platform, better this time, more secure. I didn't get the 25 million that day, but 3 years later, my new company went public. My share was worth 40 million. Sometimes I check up on Leo. He's working as a sales consultant for a mid-level paper supply firm in Ohio. He sends me emails sometimes, usually late at night, apologizing, reminiscing about the old days, asking for a loan. I never reply, but I do think about that moment in the bathroom. It's terrifying how close I came to losing everything. If I hadn't had that headache, if I hadn't needed a moment of silence, I would be
broke and broken right now. Instead, I learned the most valuable lesson of business. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time, and always, always read the fine print.